Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the potential racers from the Toronto mini four-wheel drive scene, as well as any other mini four-wheel drive racers in the world that are coming through. Uh, this is Javen here, and we have our annual race coming up on June. So 13 to 14 June 2026, we are hosting our annual race at Bridlewood Mall, where we're going to have class or open class for Saturday, and then we're going to have the BMAX class on Sunday. But please note we're still running the BMAX 3.0 rules and not the 4 or 5.0 rules, mostly because that's what we've been most used to. We actually never converted to the 4.0 rules. So the 5.0 rules we haven't adopted either. So just for those that are coming through, just keep that in mind that we're using the BMAX 3.0 rules. So I got some notes here on my phone just to make sure I try to stay on track. And yeah, I'm going to switch it over to my computer and we're going to talk through some of the stuff, make my face smaller, and talk through some of the race because I know people are super excited. It's a premier event that we offer, and we're going to try out a new racing system specifically on Saturday, which is the Rumble Tandem style that they play in both Malaysia and Singapore, and probably in other places too. It's just that that was the place that I experienced this style. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to move this over. Oh, okay, awesome. So screen is still recording. I hope it's still recording, and we'll keep going from there. Pardon the mess behind me. I'm in my workshop, which is a hot dog's breakfast. Okay, so we're going to continue on. So firstly, as you can see on my screen, this is the poster of our race for coming up in June. It's going to be at Bridlewood Mall, specifically in Scarborough. Yeah, it's located right here. I'll put on the satellite view. Wow, this is super slow. So yeah, Bridlewood Mall is right here in the northwest corner of Warden and Finch Avenue at 2900 Warden Avenue. So hopefully we'll see you there. In terms of the space itself, normally we hold at the center of the mall, but this year because of the FIFA watch party that they're hosting in the middle, the mall has been gracious enough to let us host our race at one of the vacant units. And so we'll be at the second floor, closer to the supermarket. It's the J Set Fashion Outlet that's here. It will be a pretty sizable space, as you can see in some of the photos here. Pretty big, and so it'll be a pretty awesome venue. It will be near the supermarket. That is the only sort of identifier that I have, because if I told you it's beside the dentist, which I just did, that means nothing to most people that go to Bridlewood. So go near the supermarket, find J-Set Fashion Outlet, and we're going to be there for that particular weekend. On the 12th, we're going to be setting up on the Friday. So me and a few other colleagues will be setting up, and then there's free practice during that time. So Friday at 12 is when we start setting up. Probably around 3 o'clock we'll be done set up, and people can practice. And then Saturday will be the race for Pro Class, and Sunday will be the race for BMAX 3.0. Okay, what else do we got? Okay, we talked about the dates themselves. And so the Rumble Tandem style. So let's rewind a little bit. In Toronto, we've typically played the single elimination style with losers bracket, meaning the car racing brackets are randomly generated, and then you will race that bracket with the other cars that are pre-generated in that particular round. You race. If you win, you advance to the winners bracket, and you get to go again in the next round. But if you lose, if you come in second or third, you're in what's called losers bracket, and so you will have all the losers in each of the brackets will be reorganized and have another chance to race again. And if they win, they go back into the winners bracket and keep fighting their way to the top. Or if they lose, they're out. And so that is one way to race. It is an efficient way to race, but we want to try something different because during our travels to the different places in Malaysia and Singapore, they use a system called Rumble Tandem or the ticketing system, but different to the Philippine style, where actually I will show you right now. This is one of the tickets that they have. So this is from, I hope this will focus. Will it focus? Maybe focus, I don't know. Hopefully that comes in focus. If not, I'll put it on the screen afterwards. So here there are 15 individual numbers that are here. And so each and every racer will get one of these cards, and they will actually get to race that many times on round one, 15 times. Don't care what car you bring, so long as it's legal within Tamiya regulations for open and pro class and the house rules that we have. But you will get, in round one, every racer within a certain time limit, in this case 3 hours for our particular race, you will get to race 15 times. Now, if you don't use all 15 times to race, then that's your loss. But in that 3 hour time, you're encouraged to do so. But actually, I'm maybe jumping ahead of myself. The reason why we're choosing a different racing style just for the Saturday and to make it different is because in their style, they allow you to take your car back for repair after each and every race. Minus when you get to the semifinals, that's when you go into parc fermé or you park your cars and only do minimal maintenance. But during the entire time in this system, they have it so that you can retweak your car after each bracket or after each race. So the advantage of it is during that period, you are totally invested into tuning your cars for having them succeed. Whereas the other style that we typically play, the downfall is sometimes if you don't have enough practice time, then the amount of times you have to really try to win are very limited. Whereas here in this other system, during that entire time period, you're constantly fighting and tweaking your car to get it up to advance and to win. So I think that's a lot more motivating way to race because we don't have the same amount of practice time that we used to have when we actually had a space. And so now, when we only have 2 days to race, the practice time is limited. So we want to give people a chance to have more practice times to be able to advance further. Okay, so that is the reason why we have adopted this specific style, and we're using Pro Class because it has the least amount of restrictions, unlike BMAX 3.0, which there are a lot more restrictions on what you can use. So it makes inspections, like spot inspections, much faster when it's Pro Class. And so that is ultimately why we're choosing to do that on Saturday. It's a trial. Hopefully you'll love it. If not, we can go, at least on the Sunday, we'll have the regular racing format of the single elimination with losers bracket. And so you get to try something new as well as still experience the thing that you love most. So I think I got that part down pat on why we're trying out the new system, Rumble Tandem. And don't ask me why it's called Rumble Tandem. None of the Singaporeans or Malaysians could explain what it meant either. They've always called it that. But to really simplify it, Rumble is qualifying, is free queuing or lining up qualifying, whereas Tandem typically is when the race brackets are generated for you. And although it doesn't apply to us in this instance, this is where top-ups are not allowed in Tandem. In our race, we're not allowing top-ups at all. You just pay one fee, you race with the set amount of lives that you have, and that'll be equal across the board. So that way everyone's competing on a more equal footing. Whereas in the Singapore Malaysian style, during the Rumble phase, during the qualifiers, it's AKA qualifiers, they also allow top-ups, so you can buy back and buy more lives. Again, for them, it's a much more mature system and they're used to it. Whereas for us, it's brand new. And so we only want to introduce so many things at a time. So we want to introduce a new system where everyone can fight on an equal footing still. Okay, so I keep looking back at my phone just to make sure I have all my notes in order. Okay, so let's real quick, as you see my screen here, this is the map itself of the unit. So inside, when you enter JSET Studios from down here into here, you will see that the track is going to be front center in the unit itself, so that way any passersby can see the race, and all the seating area will be on the sides, on the left-hand side of the unit, as well as the back side of the unit as well. The marshal area will be on the front right, and the track will again be dead center. The start line will be right here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Oh, zoom in doing too much. So you're going to zoom in and go start from the top right. Go up, and the yellow is going to be demarcating a mini slope. Straight to a tabletop. This is an upslope, downslope, and then banks, 2 waves, banks, tabletop, downslope, banks again, lane change. The blue indicates ABAB. And then this is what we call the mountain. It's basically, I wish I had a photo ready. Maybe I'll pop it in afterwards in the edit. It is a slope cut in half, and then a straight joins the slopes in the middle. And then there should be a straight in the middle, and then down by a split apart slope with a straight. So basically you go up and then you go down. I probably should just show a picture because my words are probably not doing it justice. But that is the layout. A much more speedier layout this year with less obstacles. Mark has talked me down from implementing digital turns and more ABABs, which is pretty unacceptable in my books, but I'm just going to live with it. We're going to make sure that people have a good time and not a broken time. So, yeah, this is going to be the race layout. How do I want to explain this? I want to jump back and forth between this map and the visuals for the rules themselves. And let's go back. Okay, Rumble Tandem rules. So hopefully this is big enough for everyone. Maybe I can make this a little bit bigger. I don't know. Let's find out. 175. Yeah, much better. Nice and big. Okay, so up top in the headers, these are the different categories. Down on the left-hand side in the row header equivalents are each of the different phases of the race. So as you progress downwards, you're advancing further down the race. So in the rumble phase, this is AKA the qualifiers. So during this time period, this will be on Saturday from 12 until 3. This is the rumble phase. So everyone will have purchased their ticket. Please focus. Why are you so slow? Please focus. Autofocus is so not great on this lens. So this is where you have your ticket. You will free queue up. So queuing is free, meaning all the racers will queue up along the barrier, between the barrier and the track. All the way up here. I will sit here as a marshal. I will do spot inspections. I will take the tickets that you have, and I will assign you your lane. Your name and the round number will be indicated. Obviously, we're going to have our own design. This is the Viper design in Malaysia. Sorry, I'm going to tangent out real quick. This is the super fast way. Wow, this autofocus is just so not great. Oh, I set it to really slow. That's probably why. So this is a super fast one, which is also out of Kuala Lumpur. This is the Singapore one out of, or the playground out of Singapore. So what does this all mean? So back to the rumble phase here. Back to this bit of happiness. You are going to hand me your ticket, each of the 3 racers, because everyone's just going to be free queuing up. I'm not setting up any brackets here. If you're ready to race, you will line up and queue up, and the next 3 race, next 3 race, next 3 race. I will have your tickets, and then I will assign you a lane. I'll either have cards that will assign, 1, 2, and 3, you get your lane, or I give you sticks, or whatever have you. And you will race your lane. So you'll conduct your race between the 3 of you. Now, here we go. This is where it's a little bit different. If all members course out, so during the rumble phase, if you course out, and it's of your own fault, meaning your car just flew out, nobody hit you, nothing like that, there is no re-race, no winner. So we'll keep advancing. So I will basically strike your ticket, and say you didn't win this race, and you use up 1 out of your 15 lives there. That's only during the rumble phase. It's just to keep things moving, because as I'm going to show you in the mathematics afterwards, this will take quite a bit of time to administer. So during the rumble qualifying phase, that's where you get 15 lives. If you course out, and it's not your fault, then, sorry, if it is your fault, if you course out and it is your fault, it counts as a loss for that particular round for you. And you're going to go back and tune your car or do whatever have you. Again, during the tuning phase, you can do whatever you want so long as it's to me illegal. Change your motor, use a different car, change your brakes, don't care. So long as it's to me illegal, in the open class category, and of course with our house rules. Which, quick disclaimer, our house rules, the one that I think of off the top of my head, is in our pro class we will allow ultra dash, which is not in line with Tamiya rules, but we will allow ultra class, but we will not allow plasma dash, just so you know. So yeah, if you course out, that's it. I'll just strike your ticket as a loss. Not everyone needs to finish here. If on a collision, if someone flies out and hits your car, and then you course out or whatever, or you end up losing that race, what will happen is I will not strike your card. I will leave it as if you didn't race. I will return your card without any markings. So that way you will have another chance to re-race and queue back up and to try and gain another life back. And again, tuning is free at all times. So basically with this card, this is your card. Oh, well, you're going to have a version of said card. Wow, I set my autofocus really slow here. My apologies. So in this card, you're trying to earn lives, essentially. During the 3 hours, you want to try to race 15 times and win as many times as you can. So I'm going to show you when I raced in Malaysia what had occurred. Keep the same plane of autofocus, that way it's good. So as you can see here, I raced a bunch of times. The numbers here indicate which lane I started from, because I was racing at a 5-lane track, so they indicated which lane I was in. So that way, to make sure that, like, hey, did you actually finish in the same lane that you started? 1 second. As you can see here, only down here I have a stamp. That was the only time that I won. But I was racing against really pro racers, and I didn't bring any tools to tune my car. Many more racers will actually win way more often than this. This is probably a bad example, whereas here in Singapore, just as a comparison, so we had up to 25 lives here. That's where the box is. They have 50 on the card, but they squared the 25, which is what you can get up to. And then each one line means I failed, whereas every X means I've won, which I think in this instance, I think I won 4 times here. And I didn't actually finish racing all the way through because I spent a lot of time tuning my car. So again, you have 3 hours to get 15 laps in, or 15 attempts in. In this particular instance, I had like 3 hours to get 25 tries in, and I was still tuning my cars at the same time, so I just ran out of time. So in any case, back to this card. I only got 1 win here, so that means in the next round, they struck out all my other lives, and I only have 1 life for round 2. This is effectively Tandem round 1. And so in this instance, I only have 1 life, but most racers will have more than 1 life. So that is the difference here. So back to the video here, and this eventually autofocus back to me. So that is Rumble, the Rumble phase, aka qualifiers. So it's free queuing. You queue up and you race of your own accord when I say go, and then when I've received your cards. If everyone courses out, there's no re-race during this time to help keep things moving. And you don't need, not everyone needs to finish. If someone causes a collision onto you, then you end up losing that round, then you can, then I won't strike your card, and you can try again next time. But if someone strikes your car, well, if they strike your car and you flew out, I will just let you go again, and I won't penalize you for it. So that's the Rumble phase. Tandem. So this is how many lives you've gotten back from the Rumble phase. So in my example, which is not a great example, it's very demotivating, but I was not very good, and I only got to advance once in Kuala Lumpur at Tamiya 360 Hobbies. Actually, I probably got the name wrong there, but they call themselves Viper, so let's just call them Viper here. So I didn't do very well there, whereas in Singapore, I had at least 4 out of 25. So in this time, in Tandem, round 1, we intend to do it this way. We might change it depending on how many lives everyone has. So Tandem round 1 is 1.5 hours. Still free queuing. If everyone courses out here, now we'll change it. We'll have last man in there. And so instead of re-race, and then last man. If everyone courses out, it will jump directly into last man standing. Again, not everyone needs to finish here. So if everyone loses, then everyone will just lose a life. If someone knocks, this will be common to all. If someone flies out and knocks your car out, then I will make sure that you can try again. And then repair tuning is free the entire time. And then tandems rounds 2 to 4 to top, basically all the way to top 9. The rules will be the same throughout, except I will be allotting the race brackets. So similar to our single elimination style, I will be assigning the racers brackets. Every time we finish a round here, between Rumble, Tandem, you will hand your tickets back to me, the race marshal, and I will start generating the brackets from that point forward and then give you a new ticket. So just like they did here in round 1. Wow, this autofocus is terrible. From round 1, I gave my card to the race marshals. They calculated everything, and they gave me my next ticket. And I will do that for you folks as you keep advancing forward. And then all the way until I said tandem round 5 placing. Really, within top 9, I think I'm going to amend this from this. Within the top 9, I will re-race up to 2 times. So like the typical way that we do it, re-race, last man. And that's not true. Not everyone needs to finish. Well, someone will finish with last man. And collision slot return, that'll be the same. So really, this should not be placing. I will probably just amend this right now. So top 9. Pardon me as I fumble this. Top 3. So this will also be allotted. Yes, must finish. So when we get to the top 9, oopsies. When you get to the top 9, between top 50 and top 9, because it depends on how the numbers add up, in the semifinals portion, that's where we will we say compound here, or parc fermé in F1 terms. You will no longer be allowed to tune your car. So as in, you can't bring your car back to your table and tune your car. What you can do is like it will be parked away, like within the racers, the racing marshal's table, and when we say that this is now the repair or maintenance time, so everyone gets an equal amount of time, you can run very basic repairs as you would have previously. So you can fix your brakes. You cannot change your motors. We'll decide on the day of if we can change your gears. Probably not, but we'll decide more then. But basically, it'll be minimal repairs. You cannot swap out your cars anymore. And actually, that's a key thing. When our old system, you enter a car, that is your ticket in. Here, it's just the number of lives that you have. So, well, you have 15 lives here. So it doesn't matter what car you choose. They just have to be, these are your lives, and you get to pick whichever car you want. But when you get down to the tandem round 4 or whatever the top 9, top 15 cars are, if that car wins, you will now have to park it. So you cannot switch that car out any further. So if you have multiple lives still, you will not have the you will not be able to race that car again in one of your lives. That will be explained in a moment when you see the math. But I'm just letting you know now. Whereas before, you can race the same car over and over again. But sometimes if you have lots of lives and someone has less lives, eventually you will have too many lives and they'll get burnt. And you're going to see that in a moment with the math. Hopefully this is clear. Plenty of questions. Put them in the chat. Love to hear them. And I'm going to show you the math now. Okay, the math. Okay, so in this part here, this will be following the rumble phase. This will be following tandem round 1. So in tandem round 2, this is when I'm going to start allotting the brackets at this point. I may end up doing that in tandem round 1 as well, and not do a 1.5 hour time frame. This will again depend on how much time we have, how many lives everyone has. So that will be situation dependent. because ultimately we get Bridlewood Mall because it's awesome and the food's accessible. Your family has something to do while you're there. But the problem is we have to close at a certain time, whereas the other venues we would typically rent from, sometimes we could just stay for many more hours. But that unfortunately we had to end by 8 o'clock. So that's why we're also only running one category for the Saturday. So I've anonymized it. So players 1 through 30. I'm assuming I have 30 players, and not everyone starts with 15 lives, but not everyone's going to win 15 times. So this is a randomized set of numbers that I put in. Some people might win 3 times, 5 times, 1 times, 0 times, 7 times. So this is just a randomized amount of numbers. Could it be more? Could it be less for some people? Absolutely. I'm just giving a hypothetical mathematical example for everyone to see. So after, let's say this is Rumble, that these are the amount of lives left, I will hit generate. And then this will be the first allotted set of racers. So how this works is, let's say player 29, they have 4 lives. So I want to confirm that they had 4 lives here because sometimes you just don't know. So I will do conditional equal to player 4. So you can see that they race 4 times, which is great. They're not racing each other as well. We mathematically designed this that it is very unlikely that you will race yourself. But on the offhand, let's say someone won a lot of lives. Like player 20, for example, had 7 lives. Will they end up racing themselves? Potentially near the very end, they may end up racing themselves. If many people have very little lives and some people have lots of lives at the end, they'll end up racing themselves and burning up their lives. That is just the nature of how the system works. So let's verify this again. Player 20. Player 20. Boop, 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 boop. I will likely also move one of these racers down to the next bracket, so that way it's 2 versus 2 at the very end. I wouldn't just leave one racer to race by themselves and guarantee a win, because that's not how we do things. Text player 20. So, oh man, this is probably tiny as all hell, so let's make that bigger. So you can see here, they will race once here, once here, once here. They won't race themselves at all. Again, this is based off of like a fairly even breakdown across the spectrum, but if someone had like 15 lives as an example, then it won't be nearly as clean as this. So let me break that down. So let's say player 15 had won all 15 times because they're gangster. If I hit generate again, oh, look at that. They don't end up racing themselves at all. It also is really really evenly split. Let's go back to making the 7. I'm just going to keep this number set somewhere on the side. Let's say 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. As a hypothetical example, just to make this math work. So everyone only won once except for player 20. He won 15 times. Generate. So in this instance, because every other player only had 1 life, they will race their 1 time. But player 20, because they're apparently so gangster, eventually near the end they will end up racing themselves and burn up 5 of their lives. That's just the way the math works, and then 5 lives are immediately burned over. So even if someone's winning a lot, as they keep progressing, their lives will be burnt up. Okay, so let's actually show you the math and how this works. So let's go back to our original number set, generate, and then I will clear this formatting. So these will be the allotted race brackets now during Tandem, either round 1 or round 2, depending on what we end up choosing. I will copy this, and then we have our other fancy dandy racing chart. This is, oh, by the way, thank you to Dennis Yo from Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur. He's the one that He's the one that showed me and shared with me his Excel spreadsheet that I've retweaked for 3-lane racing. Thank you for spending so much unbelievable amounts of time to explain the system to me, because I was just too dense to fully understand. That's my fault, not yours. And also I had Yusry from Singapore, also really refined some of my answers. So thank you again to Yusri. You didn't have as much of the pain, buddy, because Dennis spent so much of the legwork explaining it to me while I was unbelievably dense at the time. Nothing's changed. So in any case, round one, I'll paste the lives in here. I'll paste this here. I'm going to move player 24 down to here. So in this instance, I'm going to make this bigger now. So here, I'm going to assume everyone wins. There's always a winner in every bracket. Nobody courses out. So if in this round one, if let's say player 4 wins, I double click him or her, they automatically populate in the next round. Let's say player 12 wins in round 2, player 10 wins in round 3, and I'm just going to make this easy just to really show how it populates. And just to make this geometrically pretty. So this is based off the fact that in Tandem round 1, we've automatically moved to allotted racing. And this will not be free queuing. So this will not be determined by the 1.5 hours. This will be determined based off of just time it takes to execute round 1 Tandem. So in here, you can see from row 2 to row 43, that's 42 individual racing brackets. Now, on average, based on the 110-meter track that we have, it's 30 to 40 seconds to execute. Let's just round it up and say it takes 1 minute to execute each round, with the racers racing, and then the new team gets ready to, the team races their cars, the initial round, the initial heat, they will race. They will then pick up their cars, and then the next heat will be ready to race, and then they will execute from there. So this is 42 rounds. So it would be at a minimum of 42 minutes. But we all know that with racing, it always takes a little bit longer. So let's just round it up to 60 minutes. Okay, this is in minutes, not in hours. And we'll move over to round 2. There's always a little pause between each of the Tandem rounds here for me to collect your cards, redo your cards, and give you your new ones back. And also reorganize all the race brackets as well. So let's say, again, player 4 won round 1, player 2 won round 6. And make this pretty. And no one magically coursed out. Okay, well, in this case, in round 2, they're up to row 15, so that's 14 brackets. Realistically, 14, is it 20 minutes? Is it 25 minutes? I don't know. I'm just going to round up to be safe. So I'm going to say this is 30 minutes. This might even be higher than 60 minutes. This may be lower than 30 minutes, but I'm just doing rough math to really try to anticipate how long this race is going to take. Because not only is how long each of these rounds take, but then also the buffer time in between to reset the brackets and everything else. Again, I'm going to keep continuing. How many cards do I have? I have 9, 12, 14. So now we're in the top 15 at this point. So here, what I might end up doing is, this one now may be Parc Ferme, where in semifinals, where I inspect everyone's cars, and they will park their cars in here when they've won. So yeah, they'll park their cars, and they can only race them with minimal repairs. Let's continue to run this math. I have 5 racers out of this. So this is 5 rounds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Let's just say it's 10 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Somehow, some way in the later brackets, even with less cars, it still takes longer for some reason. In this instance, these racers will race. And here, because I only have 2 cars, I will have a loser's bracket in this case. So player 27, player 26, and player 28 will race. Let's say player 28 magically wins. Okay, great. So that was 1, 2, 3 brackets. Let's just say it's 6 minutes. Probably 10 minutes, who knows at this point. And then this final one is the final one. And let's just say it's 3 minutes. So as you can see here, in the tandem phase, this is 1 hour, 1.5, plus this time, that's probably like 2 hours. So there's 2 hours plus probably a 10-minute, 15-minute intermission in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 40 minutes. So this is like 3 hours and 40 minutes. It's just round up to 4 hours at that point. And so between 12 to 3, rumble for 3 hours. And then just to execute based off of a randomized set of numbers, this will still take 4 hours to execute at this point. And we will, that would bring us to 7 o'clock. And then 8 o'clock, the mall closes. So maybe sometimes there may be more, like maybe in the, maybe in this initial one, maybe more players will win, more players will lose. Again, there's a randomized set of numbers, but even just from this current racing system, this will take us almost 7 hours to execute this new racing style. Again, that's why we have only one race category for the day, because from on Saturday 10 until 12 is free practice and registration, which is just to buy your ticket. And 12 to 3 is rumble, where you're qualifying. And then tandem is when we get to either mostly allotted racing or assigned racing. Yeah, actually, when we speak about assigned racing, there's actually going to be more buffer time in between executing each of these rounds. And why I say that is because in free queuing, it actually ends up being faster because everyone lines up, next 3 up, next 3 up, next 3 up. Whereas when it's assigned racing, because you get to take your car back every time to like repair and do whatever, you're not always going to be ready and waiting to race. Because in our old other way of racing, single elimination, you've already entered your car, it's already parked, and you will end up. I can take your car and start pre-setting up all the brackets at that point. So the cars are always pre-set up. So I'll just say next round, these numbers, and those racers will already walk up with their cars immediately. Whereas here, there's always be a little bit of delay. Now, if I call your name, or call your number in this case, and within 30 seconds you don't come and take up your racing position, you will have forfeited your position, and I will note that on your ticket. Because we also have to keep the race moving. So there's a part of, I want you to continue to tune your cars and make it worthwhile. Sorry, not make it worthwhile, but make it so that you are more invested in the race. But then there's also like, you need to be ready if your number's called up, that you can take your car and run it immediately. So that is the key constraint that's there. So 30 seconds will be the timer between when I call you guys, and you better be up and ready. So yeah, that takes 7 hours up to 8 hours into the max. That's a lot of talking. Hopefully you guys have followed through. Hopefully in the edit, maybe I can make this shorter because this has been hella long. Okay. Some concerns that some other racers have brought up with this current racing style. Let me go back to this. So with this racing style, especially in the beginning when you're queuing up, the fear is, hey, if they know that there's a weaker racer in the midst, all the really good racers will go up right next to them and try to race their weaker or slower car, anticipating it will be an easier win. That can end up happening. That could also just end up, and may feel unfair. That much is true. But they could also just course out. This is mini four-wheel drive. No matter what you do, sometimes your car will just course out just because. Or they could just course out on their own. So I don't think like that fear is unwarranted because this is a mini four-wheel drive. Like, you can hedge your bets for a higher chance of winning, but even then it's not a guarantee. It's not a sure thing. And then sometimes people will say like, oh, I'm just going to wait until the very end so that way I don't have to face any of the really good racers. Well, you only have 3 hours in the rumble phase to earn as many lives as you can to progress into tandem round 1. So if by the end of the 3 hour mark you've only raced 5 times and you've only won once, well, guess what? That's the only life you take over to the next round. So you're still encouraged to line up and race during that entire 3 hour period. So again, the onus is back on the racer to earn their lives as opposed to the marshals ripping their hair out trying to reassign the brackets during the majority of the race. Okay, that's the FAQ that I heard, or some of the rumblings that I've heard, and that hopefully that addresses or soothes some of those concerns. Next up will be, because there's a lot in this system of Rumble Tandem, there's a lot of tuning that's available. I will bring some of our available parts to sell. You can look it up on the website in the description, and that's what we have available. It will only be the parts. I'm not going to bring any of the kits because it's just too unwieldy to carry everything. Maybe I will carry some kits, we'll see, but it'll be mostly for parts for people to buy and repair and maintain their cars. But also, if you need parts in advance of this race, again, check the description. Buy them in advance. I don't do layaway, so make sure you pay by credit, debit, whatever have you, so that way we can make sure your order has been placed and I can secure it for you. Prizes. So this year for prizes, we're going to have the trophies. Instead of plaques, we're doing trophies because that's what some of y'all have asked for. So we're going to switch it up. We went from glass plaques to wooden plaques to now trophies. So that'll be pretty bougie. And also some really bespoke kits. You're going to see them on the race day itself. We have some really rare kits this time around. So instead of like lots of additional parts and a basic kit, it'll just be a really rare kit or a fairly rare kit instead. Call to action. So again, Friday we're going to be setting up. So you're encouraged to come Friday and to practice, because the morning of the races it'll be fairly limited. So on Friday, my call to action to you fine folks is, if you want additional practice time, I'm going to start setting up at around 12 o'clock at the unit. My offer to you is, if you help set up, then I will allow you to pick the number you want for your ticket, because it will be both your name and your number. But I'm going to be calling out your number, not your name, because it will just be easier that way. Maybe it'll be easier, but I'll let you choose your number as well. That'll be a key component to this, because some people might have the same name. So you get to choose a number between 11 to 99. That is my call to action. Instead of when you come in, you just get assigned a number. The offer is, if you come in early, then you get to, and you help set up on Friday between 12 to 1. If you come that early to help set up, then I will let you choose the number for the Saturday registration between 11 to 99, because 1 to 10 is already spoken for. Okay, lots of Rumble Tandem. Lots of talk there. Sunday, real quick. So Sunday for the BMAX 3.0 class, it will again be the usual single elimination with losers bracket. And we will intend to have losers bracket all the way through. Again, this is why we're only running one race category, so we don't get squeezed for time, or as squeezed for time. So from 10 to 12 is practice. From 12 until 5 is going to be the race. And so I intend to run losers bracket all the way through. However, if it's 150 cars, that is going to be our cap, just based off of like our ability to process that many car entries. Because again, instead of paying by the ticket, you'll pay by per car. 150 cars will be my max. I will not have a max per racer entry. So if you want to put in 6 cars, and you can put in 6 cars. Because I know last year there was some concern when we limited it to 3 cars. I'm just going to say my top end is 150. So first come, first serve for registration. And but if we do get 150 cars, actually, change the last. I can go past 150 cars. I'm actually allowing that. But if we get 150 cars or more for entries, then for third round onwards, it will be third out, second goes to losers bracket. That is the change. It's a lot of words I keep using. But ultimately, losers bracket all the way through. But if I have, and you can submit as many cars as you want to race. But once my total is over 150 cars, our race, we have over 150 entries, then it will be third car on the third round. The third car that loses, that car is out, and the second will move on to losers bracket. It was a super long video. Hope that helps. Again, this is on a lot in the making. It's a lot of legwork getting this stood up, and trying to implement this new system. Hopefully you folks enjoy it, because we're just trying to make it more fun for everybody. And one of the nice things is you get a little, well, this will be one of the many souvenirs you get that say that you've raced at our premier event. And hopefully if you're the winner, then you also get a shiny trophy and a super rare kit to go with it. I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully in the edit mode, this will be not too long. And looking forward to seeing you fine folks for the our premier Northern Cup race from the 13th to the 14th, Saturday, Sunday of June 2026 at Bridlewood Mall. And looking forward to seeing you during practice on Friday, 12th June as well. That's it from me. Leave your comments, questions in the comment section below, and we'll do our best to answer those questions. Thank you so much, and stay classy. Bye now.